Hello boys and girls. Today we are going to practice what we learned the previous weeks, that is the passive tense and in simple past this time. So today we are on page number 41 of our workbook, at the end of your book. Okay, so we are on page number W41. Today we are going to practice and start working with affirmative and negative sentences, but in the context of a text, not isolated sentences. We are going to read a full text, okay? We are going to start today working with the history and about helmets. Do you know what is this? This is a helmet. This is a bike helmet. It's made from plastic, but some years ago it was made from other materials. So today we are going to start working with this. This is activity number 6, and it says complete the article with the correct simple past passive form of the verbs in parentheses. We have to keep in mind that all the verbs you have here, okay, must be transformed into past participle. If they are regular, you just have to add d or ed, that is the case of saved, for example, or injured. But in the case of the other verbs, you must look at the verb list you have. So in this case, we are going to start taking some decisions. For example, are we going to use was if it is singular or where? You have to decide it. If you have these words, okay, not, the sentence or the contraction is negative. So was or were must be in the negative form. Wasn't, weren't. So here we are going to read this passage and decide how are we going to complete it. So it says, sometimes plastic saves lives. 15-year-old bike rider Jaden Thomas believes that she was saved last year by her plastic helmet. Jaden was riding home from school last June when she buy a car. Luckily, she too badly because her head. More than 600 bikers in road accidents in the US last year. Could plastic helmets save more lives? Historical note: the first bike helmets from plastic. Leather helmets protected riders from grazes, but they to be very effective for serious injuries. The first plastic helmets in the 1970s. So keep in mind you have to take some decisions, okay? Decide between was and were, and then transform the verb into participle. At the end of the video, you will see what are the correct options for this space. Now we are going to go here, number 7, and here it says, rewrite the sentences in passive. Use by plus agent when necessary. Here we have to keep in mind that at the end of a passive contraction we can use by plus the agent or the person or the circumstances that made the action possible. But in some cases we don't know who did something, or we don't care, or it's not specific. I am going to show you today where it's not necessary to use by at the end of the sentence. Now, in here, we have to rewrite. I have to transform this, okay? So, the sentence is written in active voice, but you must transform it. Take a look at the example. William Herschel discovered the planet Uranus. The planet Uranus was discovered by William Herschel. Why, in this case, we use by? We use it because we know the name of the person who did it, and it is important, okay? Now, we have to transform the next sentences. Number 1, Alexander Bell invented the telephone. Number 2, people made my leather shoes in Italy. Number 3, someone stole my bike last night. Number 4, ancient Egyptians used glass. Number 5, my grandma painted these wooden chairs. Number 6, someone recycled the old magazines. Now, take a look at this example. Number 2, it says people. People is a very general word. We are not identifying the person who really made the leather shoes. Okay, so it's pretty general. The same happens here. Someone stole my bike. We don't know who did it. It was a person. We are sure of that, but we don't know who did it. So in these cases, like people or someone, or this one at the end, someone recycled the old magazines, we don't know for sure who did it. So in those cases, you don't need to use by because you are not adding any important information. Now, we are going to take a look at the correct options we have. Now, for the first activity, I am going to show you now, we have to keep in mind the decisions to take. If it is singular or plural, was, weren't, okay? So here you have the correct answers in red. Number 1, was hit. Number 2, wasn't injured. Number 3, was protected. Number 4, were killed. Number 5, weren't made. Number 6, weren't found. And number 7, were sold. Take a look at this one. Okay, compared to what you did. So now we can move forward to the next exercise. In the next, you have to keep in mind, you have to transform the sentences, okay? They are all in active voice, so you have to make it passive. So there you have. Number 1, the telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Number 2, my leather shoes were made in Italy. Number 3, my bike was stolen last night. Number 4, glass was used by ancient Egyptians. Number 5, these wooden chairs were painted by my grandma. Number 6, the old magazines were recycled. Now kids, with this we are going to finish our lesson today. So bye bye, take care, see you.